Hi guys, Addison here. So I'm so excited that you're here today, and I'm so excited because I have the honor of walking you through the editorial template. We are going to use this one. I've copied and pasted the template. We're going to kind of like pick it apart, change what we need to. I'm just going to walk you through all the details on how you can link icons, how you can change out your name, how you'll change out your photos, how you can do anything that you need to do with this brand new Show It template so that it can be completely unique to your brand, customized to your needs, all the things. So before we get started, make sure that you have created a Show It account and that you have a subscription with them. Once you purchase this template and download it, you are going to get a download guide that's going to show you a couple different key steps to getting started with Show It, as well as link this video and another one actually by Show It that kind of just tells you if you're getting started with Show It, here's what you need to know. And so that's a great resource. Show It's Help Center, both their support team and the articles and the videos that they have out on YouTube and here in the app. So I could go down here and view any help doc about anything that I needed to, are some of the best resources out there as far as website hosts. I've been a designer for many years now, and Show It has been always my top favorite support team, top favorite help center. They just really can help you with anything you need to figure out. And so if there's anything I don't cover in this video, or that's not covered in the other video linked in your actual download guide, then always feel free to contact them here or view a help doc here, because they have everything to cover everything that you'll need. But as far as our specific template, I'm going to walk you through a couple of things. So when you first log on to your template, you might notice that this is the screen that you're coming into. One of the things I always do immediately, it's become like a second nature for me, is I go to site instead of looking at the page individually. Sorry, forgot the word. Individually, I would like to go to the site instead and kind of get an overview, because over here on site, we can see things like site settings, design settings, media library, all of our pages, all of our blog templates on all of our site canvases. Per each page though, whatever page you're highlighted and working on, there's going to be different information that shows up here, page info, page background, animation, SEO settings, and advanced settings. If you were to embed any kind of code, like say you want to integrate Flowdesk or a HoneyBook contact form, or anything that is kind of like a third-party resource that you're looking to embed some code on your website for, this is where you would do that. So per page that you wanted to embed on, you would go to the actual page under site, and then all the page info will show up here, and I would just input it on custom head right here. So you have a lot of different options on what you can do within each page as far as the actual pages information. And then SEO settings is an important one. So before you launch your website, you're going to want to make sure that you go in and you make a page title for every single one of your pages in your website. You make a meta description. So every template in the Heart Shop is already SEO optimized. So we've already ranked text boxes and we've already set up the template to really do well for you. But 2 pro tips are, you're going to want to make sure every page, the SEO settings like this, is filled out. So if I were you, I'd put a title like this. I would say home, and then I'd put a dash, and I would say my name. Oh, she just got married, so her name has changed. And so I would do something like that for each page, and then you could just copy and paste and change it to about, or my story, or travel, or whatever page you're working on. And then for meta description, I would make sure that I'm adding as many keywords as possible. So you're going to do things like homepage, and your name, and what you do, and who you do it for, and where you're located. I'm just writing out random things at this point. So adding as many keywords as possible per each page is going to be really key. And then for clients that I've designed for in the past, if I were you, what I would do for the share image is I would either add one of my photos. If I'm a photographer, I would add one of my photos. Bonus points if you can make a little graphic on Canva that overlays your logo with your photo. And then I would set that as a share image, or I would just put my logo as a share image. And I would make sure that it is like a really contrasted color if you're doing just the logo with like a transparent background. Because what this share image is if I were to get a DM from a client on Instagram, they're wanting to reach out to me, and I want to real quick DM them back the link to my contact page or to my homepage or to anything, this share image is going to be the image that pops up once you copy and paste that link and send it in your DM thread. So this is literally the share image. It's going to pop up anytime your link is shared, whether it's you sending it to somebody or somebody sending you to their best friend saying like, hey, look at this photographer. I really want to book her. This is the first image that they will see. So making sure it includes your logo is a really, really nice way to make sure that all content is branded and you just have that professional experience from the very beginning. As far as each page though, when you are editing, there are different canvases. So if you see a canvas with these like slanted stripes behind it, that means that it is a site canvas. And like I've already shown you down here, this is where you can see all of your site canvases. So I'm going to go to desktop only so we can just see one version, but you could also go to mobile to see mobile on its own or see them both at the same time. I just prefer to work in desktop. So this is our site credits. This is at the bottom of every single page. And if you make a new page, duplicate a page, build a page from scrap with the canvases that you already have on your site, you need to put the site credits on there, because not only does this show off like your copyright, so add in your name here, make sure that you are covered as far as when you copyrighted your website. But then it also shows credits to who designed the website. So this is by the Heart Shop, and then photo credits to you. So you cannot use Hannah's photos. Obviously, they're beautiful and they're awesome and we all love them, but you can't use them. So you're gonna have to change out all the photos within the template and then change out your name to make sure that the photo credits go in the right way. This would also be a great place to link a privacy policy or terms and conditions based on what you have on your website. We also have one of our footers here. And so when you edit a site canvas, whether you're going down here and seeing it individually, or let's say I'm on my About page and I want to go down to edit the site canvas. What a site canvas is it's a canvas that's in multiple places on your site, or that can be on multiple places on your site really easily. And when you edit it, you're editing it site-wide. So one thing about Show It is that it's very customizable. You can literally change any detail, move anything 1 inch over or half a centimeter over, or you're not confined to squares like some other website hosts that are out there. But a thing about that is that you have to be really specific and make sure that every change you make is happening site-wide, that it's happening on mobile too. You have to go back and proof yourself to make sure that everything looks good on all ends. And so the great thing about site canvases is that when you edit a site canvas, it edits site-wide. With the editorial template specifically though, one thing I do want to point out is that we have a couple different footers and a couple different headers. We only have this one navigation menu. Here's what it looks like on mobile. And so when you need to edit something in the navigation menu, which when we're previewing our template, wait for it to pop up. This is the menu I'm talking about. It's the menu like on all pages. If I were to go to another page, it's here too. It is the main menu for your website, and we only have one of those. So when you edit here, it edits for the entire website. But we do have a couple different headers. So we have a dark header and a light header. And these are the exact same things, but I just have designed a couple different options to work based on what the page it's on needs. So like for the About page, and we just saw on the Experience page, we have that dark header. But then for the Instagram page, we have another one. For our where is it? Our blog page, we have the light one. So when you first get your template, one of the very first things I would suggest doing is going down to site canvases and going ahead and changing out your name for all of the different headers. So changing your name here, changing your name here, making sure each of these individual icons is linked properly. So make sure it's linked to your Facebook, your Instagram, your Pinterest. You can also change these out if you so desire. So if you were to click on one to edit it, you'll see an icon chooser. You can change the color of it here, or you can go here and change it to really any icon you want. So let's say you have a podcast you want to link to. They have some great podcast icons, Spotify, etc. Here is where they're going to go to the navigation. This is already set up. So if I were you, I just wouldn't touch that unless you are trying to get a different look with it or customize it to better fit whatever you are trying to do with this template. But then making sure you go back and do that on this header too. And then also same with your footer. So we have a couple different footers. We have a dark footer, we have a brown footer, and we have a light footer. And then we also have an alternate site credits that worked better for one of our pages. But making sure that you're going to each footer and making sure that each of these icons is linked, that the information is correct, that your Instagram is correct, that you've changed out this photo. And if you change any of these links here, that you've changed them on the other footers as well. So that is a little rundown of site canvases. For your blog templates, while we're on this whole page info spiel, your SEO settings is going to be a different way of doing it. You can't just like input it directly onto the Showit app. So when you have a blog set up with Showit, it's going to be through WordPress, which is amazing. WordPress is the best blogging tool out there for SEO, for ease of access, for user friendliness, for everything. And so you're going to actually set up your SEO for pages under your blog templates in the WordPress app, which when you sign up with Showit, you'll get more information about that for your specific account. But one thing about this template is that on our homepage, you have the option of using this canvas that has some beautiful recent blog posts. And so it's already completely set up for you. But this is in order to use this canvas as is. Okay, so you have two options. So one, you could use this home page, which is actually under pages, and you could just link some of your favorite blogs. So you could change out this photo manually. You can make sure that the date is correct manually. You could type out the blog post title manually again. And then I would go here to click actions and link to the specific URL for the blog post that I'm wanting to feature on my homepage. That is one option. The second option is to use this template under blog templates, which is under here because we want it to work with WordPress. The other option would be to make this your homepage. And then this is already set up to auto-populate the other two posts. This is set to be the post title. This is set to be a post date, and this is set to be a WordPress featured image, and they will auto-populate some of your featured blog posts. And so that's another option. If you want to use that option, just make sure that you have blogs posted within your WordPress blogging and that this is set to be your homepage. Now, let's talk about how we could edit some text, change out our name, edit photos, all that stuff. So one thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that all of the quote unquote logo formats within this template have your initials and your name instead of Hannah's. Just like you'd want to change out her photos, you want to make sure that you're changing out your name. So let's say my initials are not HR and I want to change it to, let's do my personal initials. So my name is Addison Childers. I'm changing it to A and then C, and all of the logo formats on this template are just text. So all you're doing is highlighting and retyping to be your name. But always make sure that it still looks right. So you'll see that I just moved over to the C so that it overlapped a little bit more beautifully. And now I have my own little submark logo. If I wanted to do that on, like, say, the Instagram page, I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to type Addison. And then Childers, and because my name is a little longer than hers, I'm going to have to resize it, respace it a little bit. But now it looks great. Same thing all throughout your site and on all of your site canvases. So let's say we wanted to do that for our header here. You're just going to go in and edit. The way that this one is actually set up is that this is one text box with some space in between. So I would just highlight Hannah and replace my name, highlight Rosser and replace with my name. And then obviously my name is different than hers, so there's going to be some different spacing. So I'm going to click on this photo and I'm going to drag it so that it's in between, evenly spaced. I'm just going to eye it. The perfection. So making sure you're changing out all of your names, all of the photos. So let's chat about if I wanted to change out photos now. So with any of the photos on your site, all you're going to need to do is go to it and click on the image that you want to change out. You can either go over here to image settings and click swap image, or you can just double click and it'll automatically bring up your media library. So your media library is a really great resource that Showit has as well. A lot of website hosts don't do this, but with the media library on Showit, you can upload like a significant amount of media content, font files if you're doing your own custom font for this site, et cetera, PDFs, literally so many things. And you can also organize them. So I won't pull it up because I don't want to show any heart sensitive materials, but you can organize based on folders and add photos to different things. So if I wanted to, do like spring 2022 uploads and do a whole overhaul of all the photos on my site, I can make that folder on my media library. And then let's say spring 2023, I wanted to update my website again. So I do another whole overhaul and I upload a new, so my new and old photos are separated by folders. Another tool you have over here is your site settings. So making sure that all of this is correct, I would rename this if I were you. So it would be something like, Hannah Rosser Photography or Addison Childers Photography, or your name, your business. Your custom domain, how you're going to set that is right here, and it'll follow through some prompts for you. You can add your favicon here, so making that your logo. Your vanity URL slug. This doesn't really change anything for your people, because once you have a custom domain set, that's going to be the URL that it publishes to. But I always like to change this to something just like simple as your name, because that will be what your preview link looks like for all time. And then you could also go here and think more about your blog domain and how you're going to link that to WordPress and stuff. And then here's a big thing with this template is you're going to want to make sure that you add your own brands, colors, and fonts. You totally have the rights to use these fonts, to use these colors. That is readily equipped in this template for you. But if you already have an established brand, or if you're able to have an established brand, I encourage you to change out these colors and these fonts. And it's really easy to do so. So for fonts, we're going to go over here to fonts. We have a ton of Google fonts, which you can easily access. You can preview. I mean, there's just endless. And then you can also add custom fonts by adding the WOFF font file to your media library. And then once you have added that there, it'll show up here based on what you have uploaded on your media library. You can give it a name, add your custom font, and it'll show up here. And then for site styles, this is where you would change out your type styles and your color palette. So you can really easily copy and paste the hex code for any of your custom colors in here. You could even, if you wanted to, just search for one and find one that you think looks pretty. Anywhere on the color spectrum. And then for type styles, this is going to be where you kind of just set the precedence for anything site-wide that you know you want to change. When you do this, though, it will change site-wide. So if I were to go here and make this, 75 point, that's not changing it for just one section. That is going to change it site-wide. So anywhere where I have my header ones throughout the entire site, it would change from like a 50-point size to a 75-point size. You can also figure out what you want your default background color to be for mobile and desktop. And all of those site settings are right here. So we've talked about how to change out photos. We've talked about how to edit your design styles and text. Also, text is really easy as far as like body paragraphs. Within this template, you have really beautiful copy prompts. And so making sure you're reading through those before you just like, go to town, cutting and pasting and all the things. But it's really simple. All you have to do is click on the text box that you want to edit, highlight, delete, start typing. There are some different text styles, text properties you can play around with if you so desire. And then click actions is going to be your best friend because this is how you will link any piece of text to anywhere on your site. So there are a couple places where we've already linked it for you. So like buttons like this are already linked to their recording pages, but you have a couple different options with this. You can take away the link. You can make it linked to a specific canvas on this website. Each of these different blocks are canvases to a top of a page, to a social link, to a URL, et cetera, et cetera. While we're here, let's go ahead and look at different canvases because I don't think I've covered that yet, but each one of these, so we have the site canvases, which are the ones with the stripes behind it, but ones without are just simple canvases created for each page. If you were going to create a new page for your website, like custom built from scratch, let's say you wanted to add like a shop page or something like that, you do have the option to simply copy and paste canvases that I've already built for you here on this template so that they are cohesive and work for you, and you can just change out text, photos, etc. And you can do that right here by duplicate or by copying and then pasting on a completely new page, or you can just duplicate the whole page and edit as you so desire. But within each canvas, you will see that you have all of your elements. So if I were to highlight, you see it's going to highlight over the different things that I am hovering. And then there are a couple canvases throughout your site where we get this pretty effect of being able to scroll or click through. So we have one on the homepage that's like a mini gallery. And then we have one here that is for our upcoming travel. And we can really beautifully just scroll through our upcoming travel and everywhere we're going. And so if you want to change that, it's going to look a little different. We're going to have some canvas views. And so let me move myself out of the way. So here on this canvas, we only have two views. I'll show you a more complicated one in a second, but here on this canvas, we only have two. The first one is January through June for our travel, like for 6 months, the second 6 months of the year. And this is just simple text box. So you can just go here and edit the text. And this is how we've set it up, is that once they click on this icon, it takes them to the next canvas. You can change this. You can make it go to a specific view or, whatever you want. But this is how it's set up when we have different canvas views. Another more complicated one would be the FAQs page. Where's that? Right here. So this one has a lot. And to edit the FAQs, what we're going to do, so we have multiple canvas views, as you see here. So they're all labeled for you for ease of access and ease of navigation while you're editing. But the first canvas view is going to be your first 8 questions, each one linked to their according canvas. So it's really beautiful how it works. If you haven't seen it so far, I will show you. My Wi-Fi is lagging, y'all. So let's say I wanted to figure out if I give out raw unedited images or not. It is linked to that specific site canvas, and then I can exit out to go back. These buttons alternate between the questions. They don't go to the answers. To get to the answers, you have to click on the according icon. And so the way that we've gotten that beautifully to work is that each one of these icons is set to go to the answer for that specific question. So question two. You can edit these texts. You can use these specific questions and then make sure you go here and put your according answer. I will say though, as with everything you do on your show website, but especially things like canvas views, you definitely want to make sure you're proofing it on your mobile before you do any kind of publishing to your website. So just making sure that it looks good. Let's say you added a lot more text than this canvas provides and it like went past here, it would overlap with other items or it would be hidden under this canvas. So what you'd want to do is you'd want to drag your canvas to be a little bit bigger in order to work. So just always make sure you're proofing on mobile before you move on. Another thing that I want to show you is how you could change if you had an image as the background. So that is only on one place on this specific template, but you might want to do it on different places depending on what you do with your template in the future. But this page canvas is actually set with a canvas background of an image. So for most of your website, like I said, it's going to be a color, which is also an option. You can make it any color you want to. That is a terrible color combination, but you get the gist. Or you can make it an image. And so one thing about the canvas background images is that you have to do it manually for both mobile and desktop. So if I wanted to, I could make this a completely different image on mobile than it is desktop. I might want to do that for reasons similar to this. So on the upper half of this 404 page, it gets a little lighter. And so we have the lighter header here on the mobile. And so it's a little hard to see where we would click for the navigation. So if you have something like that, maybe it's where you need to change out the mobile background image to be something a little bit more contrasty at the top. But then we also see it works perfectly here on desktop. So that is another thing that you want to make sure you're looking out for. Let me see if there's anything else that I am not thinking of before I log off of here. I've covered a lot though, and like I said in the beginning of this video, we also have linked some more resources and written out some more resources within your delivery guide. So once you purchase this template, you are completely set with a really good starter toolbox to get you set up for success when you start editing your template. But make sure you change out the photos, make sure you change out your name. You can totally use these fonts and these colors and everything about this template as it is. But then also you're encouraged to make it your own, and we can't wait to see what you do with it. So make sure that you are updating your SEO settings, making sure that you're going on mobile, making sure that the design settings and the media library is all set up how you want it to be. And then above all else, preview your work before you finish. And so you can go over here, you can preview in this little site preview pop-up box that shows you both mobile and desktop for ease of use when you are trying to preview. But then it also gives you this link so you can always preview in an actual tab or in a new window. And then publish your work. So we cannot wait to see what you do with this template, how you make it your own, your beautiful photos and your beautiful work within the editorial template. And we appreciate you trusting us to build you something really awesome and lasting for your business. So we will talk to you soon. Congratulations on the investment for your business, and we cannot wait to see. Be sure to tag the Heart University when you publish because we want to see how you customize this template. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.